Morning, everyone. Hope your summer is going well. Thanks for tuning in. Just wanted to do a quick tool of the day on these adjustable die rings. I have two of them. I have the PMA one, and I actually have a couple of these PMA ones. And then I have this Widden one. The Widden one, a friend just gave to me. He said, I have this somewhere in my collection. I'm not sure how to use it. I don't really care to try to use it. You want it and try it out. I said, sure. And he just gave it to me basically. So I was like, yeah, I definitely have, want something that's adjustable. And then there's like the standard lock ring. And so the main differences on these is simple. This kind of standard lock ring, when you loosen it, you have to be extremely careful. And trust me, I have down this technique really well, how I hold the die and I hold the lock ring, loosen it, make sure it doesn't move, and then slightly turn it down. I can literally kind of almost tell now just by just by looking at it and feeling it, how much a thousandth of an inch shoulder bump is going to be, greater as I turn it down. And I can even like estimate several thousandths of an inch, okay, I got to turn this down about 5 thousandths. I can like just sort of just estimate, okay, here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, stop. And then hold it in place and lock it. And so that's how I've used these lock rings before, is just sort of, just throwing them in there, kind of getting them set up, and then figuring out from there how much adjustment do I need to do, and then just kind of just adjusting it based on my experience with these dies, checking it. If it's not close, pull it back out and sort of turn it either, up or down a thousandths or so. And so I've been able to do that. It's not perfect, but I've been able to do that with these. But when I got these rings, these make it so much easier to get the right adjustment, because literally all you do is you could see there's hash marks on here and numbers. You go, okay, I need to go down 4 thousandths. You loosen it, and then you just turn it 4 hashes, 1, 2, 3, 4, turn it to right there, lock it, and then size. And then I'd say 90% of the time it's perfect. And so literally that, I think, is the major benefit of these adjustable ones. And same thing with the Widden. I found that it's easy. One click is about 1 thousandths. And so once you get the die set up, there's 2 little nuts in here. One kind of holds the ring to the die body, and then the other holds the clicker to the outside here that holds the die, where it's going to be in your press. And so you just throw that puppy in, size it, check, I need another couple thousandths. You just loosen one of those screws to this clicker here, and then you click it 1, 2 times so the die goes down and this part goes up basically. And then you just tighten it, and that's it. You're done with your adjustment. So these things are extremely easy to to adjust to get your headspace correct. So that's probably, I'd say, the nicest thing about them. Now the other thing is and here's where I find huge value. I mean, obviously, having being able to like set the tool easily is great. But where I find these help the most is I have a number of different chamberings for like 6 PPC, 6 BRA, 30 BR. Like with my 30 BR, I have a competition one to meet the heavy varmint weight limit, and then I have one that I use in competition, but it's unlimited and it's very heavy. So I have, a couple of 30 BR chambered barrels. I have 3 or 4 BRA chambered barrels. I have, I can't even count the number of 6 PPC barrels. So what I do, these are valuable because I can quickly adjust for a different barrel. So let's say I go out and I shoot this PPC, and I have it in my notes here, PMA 16.5. I think that's where it's set now. yeah, 16.5, 16 and a half, basically, halfway between 16 and 17. I can just look at this and go, okay, let's say it was set at like 23 because I was shooting my rail gun the month before. And now I got to go back to my bag gun, which is a different barrel, same diameter. I'm sorry, same chamber specs, but just it's a different barrel. So the gunsmith can't cut the chambers the exact same depth for each one. And so I can go from the rail gun, which is a setting of 23, to my bag gun here with a different barrel, and then just turn just turn this thing right to 16 and a half. And then go size the case, and bam, okay, it's sizing perfectly. So that's the huge benefit for me. And then this is my 30 BR die. It's a Wilson die, and so I have it written down in both my 30 BR books. How many clicks and what direction for which 30 BR I'm doing. So I have it in there. It'll say like die is set for this 30 BR, it needs to click 6 times to the left to bring da-da-da-da-da. Then I just go in there, look at it, go, okay, the die is currently set up for like the other 30 BR, and I need to click it 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, tighten it down, throw it in there, and it'll size perfectly. So that's the benefit to me, is I can go back and forth between, all the different barrels that I have. And make sure I write good notes on, where this, the ring should be, or how many clicks I need for the Widden. I actually like the PMA better, honestly, because it has the numbers on it. The Widden, it doesn't have numbers on it, which I don't know why. It would be really nice if it did. It wouldn't take much to just number those things, but it doesn't. So it's not a huge issue. I mean, I just have to write better notes, and just make sure the die is set for this. I put the date on it, all that, so I know, like, okay, it's the last time I used it, the die was set for the other barrel. Now I got to set it for this barrel, and then after I set it for the current barrel, then I write that down. Now die is set for this barrel. But with the PMA, it's pretty simple. It's just the number. You just turn it to whatever the number is according to what's in your notes here. And so I'll be shooting this 6 PPC in the next bag gun match, and it's set at 16.5. And it actually, this was the the die that I used to size those cases that I looked at that dwell time. And so there you go. Anyway, so those are kind of the two big benefits. One, you can get to the right place in terms of shoulder bump fairly quickly, without having to do any special techniques or know-how in terms of adjustability of a die. And then the second thing is, if you're going back and forth between different chambers with slightly different headspace measurements, or sometimes it's not even that. Sometimes it's like on my rail gun, I had to, during the competition itself, as I was shooting the brass, for whatever reason, I think it's the case walls on the brass get just like really stiff, and when you're sizing it, they get harder to size after tons of firing. And so I actually use this in matches, quickly loosen it up, and then kind of bring it down 1/1000th of an inch, seat, and then see, okay, is this thing seating the same? So sometimes I may start a match at like, I don't know, let's say 20 thousandths, but then sometimes like I might actually be done with the match at like 13, at the number 13, because I've had to like crank it down several thousandths by the end of the match to get it to headspace the same. And so that's that's another advantage of this, is if you have to do that, it makes it a lot easier on a die like this. So anyway, so that second benefit is adjustability between different barrels, different chambers, and also within a barrel during the day. If you're shooting that brass a lot and it starts to get really stiff and you have to crank the die down to get the same headspace sizing that you did when you started the match, that's another quick and easy advantage of this. And then at the end of the day, I just write that number down. Okay, it's on 13, write that down in my data book to say, the PMA tool was on setting number 13 at the end of the match. And then that way I know when I go back to using my unlimited barrel and I use that same brass, that I have to set it at number 13. So anyway, there you go. Two big benefits. All right, everyone, take care. We'll see you.